little bit late on my college football week 7 results, and and my week 8 picks as well. So we will start it off with a quick recap of the scores from last week, and then we will do week 8 picks. Number one, Alabama against Missouri in the SEC. Alabama was a 28-point favorite. They won by 29. I picked them to just cover the spread, and they did. Number 2, Georgia, 7.5-point favorite at number 13, LSU. We all know how that game turned out. LSU steamrolled Georgia. I picked Georgia to win but not cover the spread. So I do get that one correctly. Number 14, Florida at Vanderbilt. Florida was a 7-point favorite. They did end up covering just as I thought that they would, although it took a comeback late. Number 21, Auburn versus Tennessee. I picked Auburn to cover their 15.5-point spread. They did not. They lost to lowly Tennessee. Tennessee showing signs of improvement, but Auburn looking horrible. Number 22, Texas A&M, a 2.5-point favorite at South Carolina. A&M went and covered that spread. It was a close game, but they won it. And Ole Miss at Arkansas. Ole Miss was a 7-point favorite. Ole Miss did not cover the spread, but they did win by as many points as I thought that they would as well. So on to the top 25. Number 3, Ohio State against Minnesota. Ohio State, a 29.5-point favorite. I picked them not to cover. They did not cover that spread. Number 5, Notre Dame, a 21-point favorite against Pittsburgh. And that was a close game. I picked Notre Dame to cover that. They didn't. So I got that one wrong. Number 6, West Virginia at Iowa State. Michigan State will beat Michigan. That's very possible. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Number 6, West Virginia at Iowa State. West Virginia went down. That is their first loss of the season. They were 6.5-point favorites. I picked them to cover, but they didn't. Yeah, go green. My brother is a Michigan State fan. Number 7, Washington at number 17, Oregon. I picked Oregon to win this outright, and they did. Number 8, Penn State against Michigan State. I picked Penn State to not cover the spread. I thought Michigan State would make it closer. Michigan State did make it close. They won. And so I got that spread correctly. Number 9, Texas against Baylor. Texas, I picked to cover the 14-point spread. They didn't, but they did end up winning that game. Number 10, UCF, a 4.5-point favorite against Memphis. UCF comes back and wins by 1 point to capture a victory. Nittany Lions, you don't like those, I can tell. Number 12, Michigan against number 15, Wisconsin. This is the main game I got wrong. I picked Wisconsin to win this one. Michigan did not cover the spread and Wisconsin to win. Obviously, Michigan steamrolled them. I was wrong about that game. Number 16, Miami, 6.5-point favorite at Virginia. I picked Miami to not cover because they're overrated, and Miami lost to Virginia. So, you just don't like them. Yeah, I get you. I'm the same way with my team and my rivalry teams. Number 19, Colorado at USC. USC is 7-point favorite. I picked USC to not cover. I picked Colorado to win this, and that was wrong. Colorado gets their first loss of the season, I believe. They're not undefeated anymore. USC takes them down. Number 23, USF at Tulsa. USF, a 7-point favorite. I picked them to steamroll Tulsa. They didn't. They barely won, but they did win it. And so now, it's on to our top 25 games this week. Not quite as many good games this week, but still some very decisive ones. Number 2, Ohio State at Purdue. Ohio State, a 12.5-point favorite. I expect Ohio State to cover that. Their defense will give up some points to David Blau and Purdue, but they will score as many as they need to win. Number 3, Clemson against number 16, North Carolina State. Clemson's a 17.5-point favorite, which is rather high. I see Clemson winning this game in a squeaker. It should be a really, really good game. Ryan Finley is a great quarterback, going to be one of the top quarterbacks in this draft class. He will keep them close, but Clemson's defense is just too good, and Travis Etienne is just too good, and Clemson wins this barely. Number 6 Michigan at number 24 Michigan State. Michigan's a 7-point favorite. Now, NC State might win. Whoever wins goes to playoff. Definitely, if either of those teams stay undefeated, they should make the playoff. Definitely, I agree with you. Number 6 Michigan at number 24 Michigan State. Michigan 7-point favorite. At Michigan State, this is going to be a tough one. Michigan State plays their rivalry games well. They always do. But I see Michigan winning this one in the end by about 3. I do not see them covering the spread. I see Michigan State making it close, probably winning for a while, but then Michigan pulls away and ends. Boo. Sorry, man. Number 9, Oklahoma, an 8-point favorite at TCU. I expect Oklahoma to cover that spread against TCU. Number 10, UCF at Eastern Carolina. I couldn't find a line for that game, so whatever prediction is fine. What's up, Bernard? How you doing? Number 12, Oregon at number 25, Washington State. This is an interesting game here, guys. Number 25, Washington State is a 3-point favorite, but I just don't see it. They can pass the ball well, Washington State can, but they can't run it that great, and their defense isn't anything special. I see Oregon winning this game, going on the road, making a nice win. Number 15, Washington against Colorado. Washington is 17.5-point favorite. That is rather high considering Colorado is a pretty decent team. I see Washington winning this one, but I don't see it getting in the double digits for Washington. I see it being a touchdown. Number 18, Penn State at Indiana. Penn State a 14.5-point favorite. I see Penn State just covering that. Indiana's not a great team. I see Penn State winning by 2 touchdowns to cover. Number 19, Iowa against Maryland. Iowa, a 9.5-point favorite at home. Slightly low considering Maryland can only run the football and Iowa has a good defense. It's a little low, so I consider Iowa. I think Iowa will win by 2 touchdowns. Number 20, Cincinnati at Temple. Temple is a 3-point favorite somehow. They have 3 losses this year, but they're a 3-point favorite. I just don't see that. I see Cincinnati, the undefeated, in the American, winning this by a field goal. Number 21, USF, another American team, a 34-point favorite against UConn. UConn is an absolute trash team. I see USF just covering this very high line. Number 23, Wisconsin against Illinois. Wisconsin, a 25-point favorite against Illinois. I see them just covering that, just able to cover that spread against Illinois, who is not a good team. On to the SEC. Number 1, Alabama at Tennessee. Some are saying this is could be a close game. No, not gonna be close. Number 1, Alabama is a 29-point favorite. I see them covering that quite comfortably. Number 5, LSU, a 6.5-point favorite against number 22, Mississippi State. Marquee game in the SEC this week. LSU, I think they will just cover their 6.5-point spread. LSU's a good team. Now, they've got to have a passing attack if they want to be elite. But they've got a good team. We hate Bama. We hate Bama. I don't like Bama either, man. I don't. I really don't. But I got to tell it like it is, bro. They're good. Number 14, Kentucky, an 11.5-point favorite against Vanderbilt. I think Kentucky covers the spread. Vanderbilt plays well for a while, but Kentucky's depth and better talent just wins out. And by the way, Treeper, I think your name is, if you have not subscribed, please feel free to do so. Help my channel out a little bit. Auburn at Ole Miss. Auburn, a 3.5-point favorite. I see Auburn covering the spread. Ole Miss is my team, actually. But their defense, our defense, is not good. We came up with a few plays against Arkansas, but it's still not very good. And I feel like Auburn's going to chew up clock. I feel like Ole Miss will score on Auburn, but I feel like Auburn covers the 3.5-point spread and wins by about 8. There is a space for a reason T. I don't really understand that comment. Try to clarify if you can. Missouri against Memphis. This could be a great game. Memphis, not a bad team that can score. They nearly beat UCF. Missouri is a 9.5 point favorite to win this one. I don't see them covering that. That's a high spread. I think Missouri does win this one by about a field goal. This will be a shootout. T Reaper. Oh, okay. Arkansas against Tulsa. Arkansas 5.5 point favorite. I think Arkansas covers this by about 11 points. But 11 points is not very good against Tulsa. Tulsa's not a good team. Arkansas struggling. 1-6 this year in Chad Morris's first year. But this takes us to my top 10, those of who I think are the top 10 teams at this point in the year based on how they've played. And we all know who number 1 is, so I'm going to start with number 1 and work our way down to 10. Number 1, Alabama, obviously, from the SEC. Number 2, Ohio State, no surprise, from the Big Ten. Some have Clemson here, but I don't. Number 3, Notre Dame, an independent. And number 4, Clemson. That is my college football playoff teams right now. So, matched up in 1 and 4, it will be Alabama and Clemson. And number 2 and number 3, Ohio State, Notre Dame, which could be a very good game. Anyway, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. And number 5, from the Big Ten, I have is Michigan. I have Michigan here. They have looked great lately. But, they're question mark, can they develop a passing game? If they can develop a passing game, they can be one of the best teams in the country. That's number 6, from the Big 12, I have Oklahoma. Maybe a little high, you would say, but I think Oklahoma's better than Texas. But Texas beat them. Texas is a good team. I see Oklahoma being better. Number 7, from the SEC, I see LSU. LSU's a good team. They got to develop a passing attack just like Michigan, but they are a good team. Number 8, again, another Big 12 team is Texas. Texas is very good. I don't think I had them in the top 10 last week, but they slide in here because 4 top 10 teams lost. And number 9, moving up 1 spot from last week, is UCF. UCF is never going to move up a bunch in the rankings because of who they play, but they did show some resiliency in coming back and beating Memphis by a point. And number 10, from the Pac-12, is Oregon. Oregon has looked good this year. Their 1 loss was to Stanford, and that was incredibly unlucky. I've never seen a team get so lucky like Stanford did. But, guys, let me know what you think about my picks and suggestions in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching this, and hope you got a blessing from it.